Don't forget, as always, that we love you. And Dane,
thank you for listening.
How you doing, man?
Great to be back on the mic, doing some great interviews with some great people, and I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, today's going to be a great week, man. I know yesterday
Yeah.
you and I got the chance to hang out, kind of celebrate
Yeah.
our native culture, hang out, do
Yeah.
some ceremonial New Year type stuff. It was cool.
Yeah.
And you've been gone, man, calling games for a while. Feels good to have you back behind the mic, you know?
Yeah, it's been back and forth from researching and looking at guests to calling games. Now that we're in the midst of softball season, it's been pretty fun.
Yeah. Man, this one coming up today, I tell you what, I've been tracking her for a while. For those of you that were blessed to watch the
Yeah.
Haley Cowan interview, there's a girl, Pauline, she goes by Pita Macias. We'll be bringing on her in a minute.
Yeah.
Black belt, jiu-jitsu, MMA,
Yeah.
stunt woman. This girl does everything.
Judo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything she can't do. Like you give her 5 minutes to learn a skill set. So
Yeah.
this girl, when we talk about celebrating heritage, amazing lady, kind of a showcase like front runner for showcasing female athletes and just
Yeah.
female get it done type personality, right? So Dan, we've been looking for this one for a long time. I'm gonna get right down to it and bring
Yeah.
on Pita Macias. Pita, how you doing, my friend?
Good. I'm doing so well. How are you guys doing?
Amazing.
Excellent.
It's good to
Thank
have
you for joining us.
Oh,
I know
absolutely. Thank you for having me. Oh my gosh. No, I'm excited.
you're always busy and you got so much going on, so this is a joy. We'll try to value your time, Peter. As you go by, I'll jump into it. I'm grateful. I watched your kind of career evolve from, like I said, doing the stuntwoman thing to kind of acting to jiu-jitsu, MMA, fighting in the cage. I don't think there's anything you don't do. I'm curious because this is like it's got to be this is who you've been. I'm sure your whole life, but when did you get this itch to start competing, fighting? When did the whole Peter brand begin, if you will?
To be honest, as far as I can think back, when you're a kid, people always ask you, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Right. And as far back as I can remember, though, I just remember, I was like 7 years old. And the only thing I knew is that I didn't know how it would look and I didn't know exactly what it meant. But all I knew was that I wanted to be like the greatest athlete that ever lived. That's all I cared
Yeah.
about. I didn't play at recess much. I was like doing my homework so I could finish it so I can go to my 3 sports that I had after school. And I had to get straight A's because my parents wouldn't let me do 3 sports at a time if I didn't have straight A's. So like I didn't care. Like I just wanted to be the greatest athlete that ever lived. I don't really remember ever thinking anything else, to be
It's
honest.
awesome.
So
Just born this way, huh? Just born with that
yeah,
Yeah.
drive. I
and
heard
that's
somebody.
kind of. Oh, go ahead.
No, you're saying it. Well, I kind of heard somebody say one time, it's like all I expect is perfection. And when I hear you talking about that, it's kind of what you're like.
Yeah.
All I'm expecting is the best, the drive. Like you're born with this just drive. It sounds like, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
I love that. Then go ahead.
Absolutely.
I was gonna say, what other sports did you play as you grew up?
Yeah, okay. So actually the first sport I ever did was cheerleading. I
Mm.
come from like a big cheer football family. I mean, yeah, my grandparents had started a youth football and cheer program in in Los Angeles County. And so when I was 13 months old, I had a uniform on and I was already cheering. And then at that point, I had
Oh.
already started like the mommy and daddy and me classes in gymnastics.
Yeah.
And I did that all the way until I was like midway through high school, which by then you're old, But so, I was a
Yeah.
high level gymnast. I cheered literally my entire life. And then when I moved to the Olympic Training Center, when it was time for college and stuff, I worked for the National Cheerleading Association and was an instructor. So they sent me around the country to coach cheer camps. But my
Wow.
and then judo, I started when I was 7 years old. So my three main sports, like lifetime sports, were judo, gymnastics, and cheerleading. But I also played softball for many years, basketball for many years. I ran track. I did shot put and discus. I did.
Oh, wow.
It's like the girl
I
Bo
did flag
Jackson.
football. Like I did. Like yeah. You know what? If I could fit it into my schedule and it didn't affect my judo, gymnastics, or cheerleading, then I was gonna do it and I was gonna try it. And
Wow.
I like. Yeah, I was very fortunate. Like I excelled at just about every
That's
sport
awesome.
I did. I was super. I'm just super blessed, but I worked very very hard though. I will say that.
Yeah,
I can at
absolutely.
least say that about myself. So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can tell your work ethic speaks for itself, right, Dane?
Yeah,
Too.
from that 7-year-old that started out in all these sports to now, through the years of doing all those different activities, are there maybe one or two uh, events that you can remember that maybe stick out in the forefront of your mind as your favorites?
Yeah.
Maybe
yeah,
moments?
there are. One event, I'm going back a little, but uh, I think I was 14, 13. I think I just turned 14 years old or so, because that year between junior high and high school. It was the
Mhm.
summer in between, and we went to England for a tournament, so it was a huge deal, big international tournament. And I went out there, and we showed up, and I was like way heavier than we had anticipated. So I was supposed to fight 52 kilograms, and this is judo. This is for judo.
Mhm.
All the sports. This one's for judo. So yeah. So anyway, we all fly out to England for this big, huge international event. And I go out there, and I'm pretty heavy, and we're like, there's just no way I'm gonna get that weight off. So we're like, well, let's just go up a weight. It's okay. Like, let's go to 57 kilos, which is 125.4 pounds approximately.
Like
And
it. Yeah.
yeah, and so and these girls in Europe, I mean, you have all these different countries that are,
Mhm.
competing, and these girls are tough and they're big.
Yeah.
And the first round, I go against this girl from Germany, and
Right.
man, it was a war. I was just like beat up. Like,
So
this girl
true.
was so good, so strong, and I like barely won the match, right? I was like, "Phew, thank goodness," right? Well, the way it worked out, yeah, and then it pulls. We end up coming, like, keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting, and then I win the next round, and then I win the next round, and then I make it all the way to the finals, right? And guess who I have in the finals?
Same girl. Same girl.
That German girl.
Yep. Here
And
we
I
go.
remember being like, oh my God. I was like,
Once
this
was
girl
enough,
was,
right?
I was so beat. I remember I couldn't even feel my forearms. Luckily, my dad went over there and like rubbed my arms. And it was the first,
Okay.
I was so dead, and we're on a different time zone.
Mhm.
And like, my dad, I remember it was the first time I ever tried Red Bull. I drink like that much of it, but I like needed it because we've been competing all day. And we go out there, and I mean, the last time I barely beat that girl, like
Mm.
barely. And
Yeah.
so we're going out there, and we're competing, or we're doing judo, whatever. And then boom, I end up throwing her for a pone, which is like when they lift their hamstring. That's
Yeah.
a pone. That's like
Yeah.
the equivalent of a knockout. So that's when you throw them and they land flat on their back, and the fight's over. And I
Oh
won.
wow.
Like, and
Wow.
it was so cool because it was like at the end of the day, it was one of the last matches of the day. So we had everybody's like around the mats, and
Yeah.
like it was USA versus Germany. So even like the British people that like are my friends, or just, I know everybody was like,
Just watching.
USA, USA,
That's so cool.
and everybody, like, that girl should have won. Like, she was expected
Yeah.
to win the tournament hands down. Like, and I was like coming up in weight, and this chick from America. And yeah, I remember I won, and I was just like, turn around, it's like, you're so
Did you
excited. And I remember I look and I see my coach, and my coach is originally from England. So
Mhm.
like, he's in his hometown and all of that, and or home country. And I remember
yeah.
I turned around, and he like jumped, and he was not great at giving praise. He was great at yelling at me in his British accent, but he did not give me. I would literally walk
Still so
off the mat.
polite.
I would walk, yeah, oh yeah. I would walk off the mat sometimes after winning a gold, and he'd be like, "Well, you could have done this, this, this. Come on, Pauline, you know what you're doing. Go on, come on, go on, then." That was rubbish. That was rubbish.
That's rubbish. I love
And
it.
so, like, I just remember looking over, and he like jumped up in the air, and I could hear everybody screaming, and it was just like, that was one tournament I'll like never forget.
That's awesome.
I've
Wow.
forgotten most of them,
Wow.
but that was just like, it was my first
Yeah.
time going overseas to compete. Like, I had competed internationally, but not like
Yeah.
all the way in Europe.
You're
Yeah,
fine for America. You know
Wow.
what I mean? That's awesome. Like,
Yeah.
legit. That's
it
cool,
was
man.
it
And
was
it,
really, it was just such a great win. It was such, and then we like stayed in England and just like, and I'm like love
Yeah,
London, and so I was just love seeing the
that's so
city and
cool.
spending time there, and my whole family was there, so it was just awesome.
So that the girl didn't
Wow.
recognize the size of you had that, what did they say, you had that dog fighting you. You were just ready to go. You
Yeah.
weren't gonna be a scrapper, weren't gonna give up. That's crazy.
It was
Yeah.
absolutely a dogfight. Like
Yeah, I love that.
yeah, but I mean, I was dead. Like, couldn't
Yeah,
feel my arms, couldn't breathe. I was done. But because I had fought all these girls, every single match, they
Yeah.
were good, man. Every girl. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of them went on to become Olympians and whatnot. You know what I mean? So it was
Yeah.
just like, and
Yeah.
man, it was just such a cool, like, I don't know. I can't explain that energy. It was just so
yeah,
great, and I could hear like my mom yell. I could hear my dad and like my coach. Which I explained he was never gave me praise for anything. So for him to like jump up in the air and be like so excited, it was like, all right, I did something
yeah.
right for a change.
That's awesome. It just proves you can't measure heart.
Eh,
That's what I think of when I
Yeah.
hear that. And what you say, as I kind
yeah.
of take
Absolutely.
three, it kind of makes sense, Peta, as because you can see now people watch you a
Yeah.
lot. People will follow you and they love what you're doing. You got this influence now on the next generation. You're still very, very young, but like you're setting that influence up for those athletes. Like I said, I call you the female Bo Jackson because you do kind of a little bit of everything. But it's like
Yeah.
your influence is huge. People watch you, they want to be, whether it's a stunt girl or whether it's the MMA or whatever. So I'm curious now that you've got kind of like this brand brewing, maybe who
Yep.
influences, what's one or two mentors for you? Like who influenced you to be this brand?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as a brand, I recently, for the last like almost like over 8 years, I was with someone, and my partner, she was also my manager and everything, and we recently, called it quits, and that
Mhm.
finalized in December. And so I've really like this past like almost year, I've kind of actually been like coming to my own and really finding that Pita brand and what
Yeah.
that is to me, and remembering who I am prior to being with someone, because things are
Yeah.
very different when you're with someone. Um, and like I spent all those years at the Olympic Training Center. I traveled the world by myself. I did so much stuff by myself, but I had got, for 8 years you're with someone, you get used to
Yeah.
it. You
Right.
know what I
Right.
mean? And all of that. And so it's been super fun and almost like inspiring to myself to be able
Yeah.
to bring out this person that I know is inside of here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I've done so much with my life. Like, I've been so fortunate, so blessed. I've worked my butt off. Oh, I almost cussed. It's okay. Worked
No,
my
you're good.
butt
You're
off.
good. You're good. You're good.
And then, but like, you know, I would say if you were to ask me about someone that I really looked up to when I was younger, was Dominic Luciano and Jamie
Yep.
Damich. I'm gonna put them together because they're both gymnasts,
Yep.
and they were, gosh, I remember
See that.
watching them win the Olympics. Well, Dominic Luciano winning the Olympics, and it was just like,
Hmm.
that is what I
Mhm.
want to do. Like, I want to be at, the Olympic Games. I want to be that great athlete. Um, and then as far as like now in my life, where I'm at right now, someone who has very, very, very much been an inspiration, um, is Dana White, to be
Yep.
honest,
Yep.
because he has, like, him and I have been friends for, God,
Great guy. Yeah.
12, 13 years,
Yeah.
something like, you know what I mean? Just like tons of years. And, he's just an excellent friend, right?
Hmm.
First off,
Yeah.
but second, like, whenever you're around him and you're talking, we're just all sitting having dinner or lunch and having a conversation, like, he truly makes you feel like you can do anything in
Right.
life. He's
Mm.
so inspirational, and that's his everyday living, and he's so
Yeah.
like generous, and so like he is there to answer any questions, you know what I mean? And like at any time, at any moment, and he's walking around and the kid comes up to him, he will stop everything to stop and take a picture with them and
Mhm.
talk
That's
to him and have
cool.
a conversation with him,
Yeah.
yeah, and I just,
Role model. Role model. Yeah.
yes, yes, like
Yeah.
role model mentor type
I love
mentality,
that.
because I'm very fortunate that I am friends with him and have gotten to know him over the years. But I can't explain. I've never met anybody else
That's cool.
who, when you're in a room with them and you're just chit-chatting, hanging out,
Just vibing,
talking,
yeah.
joking with each other, you know what I mean, whatever, and still he can make you feel like you can literally accomplish anything in life.
Well,
And
I would say, Pauline or Peter, listening to you, like people are starting to feel that way about you too. So
Yeah.
it's cool. It's osmosis. I mean, literally, because you sit there and vibe with someone and just getting to know you like we have.
Yeah.
I can see why people love you. And I think he's now passed that on to you, or maybe you passed it on to him. Who knows? But we can see it
yeah,
in you too. So I mean, it's there.
Yeah.
It's right
that's
there.
awesome. That's what I want to, especially for the young women out there, these girls, man. Some of these young girls who feel like they still have to live a certain way.
Right.
And
Right.
still have to
100%.
fill that role model of wife and take care of the kids and do this and do that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
gosh, I want to be there, and like any little girl, reach out to me, talk to me.
Yeah.
I will tell you what life is about. I will, up until how, like, the years I've lived so far, but
Yeah.
like there's
Open book.
so much out there, and I think women are just on the rise. Like,
We
gosh,
agree.
the opportunity is just, endless.
See, Dane, this is why I love her,
Yeah.
man. I'm telling you, am I right, Dane? She's got that.
No,
That's what we're talking about. Go ahead, Dane.
It makes you very seldom you meet those people that immediately want to feel like you can run through a brick wall because of their words. So, but now that we're in 2025, we're just about to get into April.
Yeah.
What's
crazy,
with?
huh?
I mean, it's a whirlwind we've been going through so fast, and sometimes you sit around and think, okay, what's on the horizon for me? And that's kind of the question we have for you. What do you see yourself doing here with going through into spring for 2025?
Well, so currently, I am, and I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but I did power slap once.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, Hunter, who, the attorney for the UFC, and Dana, they both had come to me at 2 separate times and like offered it to me. Like, I really, after, my partner and I being done and everything being finalized in December, it was like I really needed to make money. Power slap, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do this. You know what I mean? Heck yeah. If Hunter and Dana are asking you, there's a reason.
There's a reason,
right?
yeah.
And so, so it's just and now that I've learned like the more so of the rules and whatnot, everything that goes into it, like I'm enjoying it so much more. So my plan, next, and we're just waiting for a date. Dana and like the matchmaker, and they're just waiting to get the next card set for Power Slap. So I will be on the next card. And then after that, so I'll be on that, and then after that, I'll have an MMA fight. So
we'll be watching.
That's my plan. Yeah, absolutely. That's my plan. Do Power Slap MMA, Power Slap MMA, Power Slap MMA, and then hopefully I can fit some like stunt work in there on occasion. You know.
All right.
Be careful every time.
Moment.
Yeah, man. Like literally never a dull moment.
Yeah.
So let me know. We'll be promoting you, of course, from here. You know we will.
Absolutely.
So I can't wait, man.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Back and forth, man. Like the Renaissance woman. I thought new names come to me. So Peter, there's a segment I promised you, and all the media you've done, all the years of interviews. I guarantee you, we're about 300 plus episodes deep. We have a segment that's sometimes fan driven. It's called Rapid Fire. You don't have to answer fastly, but what this is about, me and Dane have 5 questions. We bet on your personality and what we think you're going to say. So there's no wrong answer.
Yeah.
So if I win the 5 or closer, I get lunch. If Dane wins, he gets lunch, so forth. So you just pick what you feel is right. There's no wrong answer. Okay. So and these rapid questions.
Let's do it. I love this stuff. Let's do it.
So here we go. So question 1, obviously you've done a lot with acting and a lot of stunt work, but they're asking you to be a director of an upcoming action movie. You're gonna be the director, okay? But what the producer says is, hey, you're gonna direct this movie 2 random weird topics. You gotta make a cool movie about one of these 2 topics and make it cool and like fierce. Your 2 topics to write about are either baked potatoes or different types of pies. You gotta direct a movie, an action movie about potatoes or pies. Which way you going?
I'm going pies.
Let's go, dude. I had it, dude. What do you have, dude? You have pies?
No, I had potatoes because I could see the potato guns and things like
Yeah,
that.
dude,
just shoot around.
slow motion potato guns.
See, I never even thought of that. I was thinking pies, and I was thinking, well, American Pie made successful movies, so I guess pies.
I could see you throwing pies or something kind of like Matrix mode, like throwing like shooting stars, you know.
Yeah, there you go.
How do you get? Yeah, I got you. That's awesome. So in your next MMA fight, so both these bands, they've been watching you. You know, right now 2000s rock, they call it dad rock. It's kind of making a comeback. These two bands, they love you, and they're like, hey, we'd like to walk out and kind of do your intro song. Like WWF does it a lot, where like the band will be on the side, just play you in, right? So these two bands say, Pita, we want to be your intro music for your next fight. The two bands are Nickelback or Creed. They want to play you in. Which way you going?
That's a
I knew I'd
tough.
get it. I knew I'd get it.
Dang, that's like tough.
I could just both see them as you're walking out.
I think Nickelback.
Let's go. 2 for 2. I had you. I really did. I had Nickelback.
Oh man, I almost said Creed too. I almost did.
I think I had you. Dane, what'd you have, Dane?
No, I'm the oddball in that one again. I had Creed.
Okay, got you.
I literally was about to say Creed too, and I was like, Nickelback.
No take backsies. I'm winning, so no take backs. Question 3. So check this out. They're making an audio book about your life. You're ghostwriting a book about all things Pita. You've done some crazy stuff, crazy advance, and they're making the book.
Well, you don't even want to know the stuff I've done. I'm kidding.
So check this out though, because I said time doesn't exist. What they're gonna do is 2 of these people get to basically do the audio version of your book. They get to speak. Okay, so they're bringing them back. Time travel for the Pita book. Either Lil Wayne can basically be the audible version of your book, or B.I.G. can be your audible of the book. Lil Wayne, B.I.G. Who's gonna read your autobiography on Audible?
Oh, B.I.G. for sure.
Notorious
B.I.G. Absolutely.
Dane, let's go. Dane, who'd you have on that?
I am striking out so far.
Oh no! Lil Wayne is pretty awesome though. I mean, he's more my time, but
very, very lyrical. Yeah. I got you. I can just see that. So when your book comes out and it's like, it was all a dream, you should see Pauline. I got you. I got it right here. I'm with you. So next one. So question 4. You get another sponsorship. I know you have things like LMNT and Monster, different things like that, but different direction. For your next Power Slap fight, these 2 companies want to promote you, and they're going to give you $1 million sign-on bonus as long as you get the tattoo on Jelly Roll style on your face. You have to get the tattoo on your face, Jelly Roll style, of these 2 brands, okay? Your 2 choices you can choose from is Oreos or Hostess. Got to get the tattoo on the face for your next sponsor. Which way you going? Oreos, Hostess?
Oreos.
Let's go. It'd be a cool I can kind of see it, kind of like,
My Oreos.
Yeah, kind of see it, yeah.
I was thinking like a little bit bigger than teardrop style, like right next to the eyes.
Yeah, the different color. I got you, Dane.
Yeah. I finally got one.
Yeah. You got one? Got you.
There we go.
Check this out. Got you, man. So last question. Okay. So last question. You've done all kinds of things, but the one thing I think you haven't done yet is a poetry slam. So maybe you haven't dabbled with that yet that I know of. So check this out. They want you to, after your next fight, you're going to go on a book tour and all that. And one of the events is a poetry slam. So they have music and you kind of like diss people with poetry, right? It's kind of a thing, right? So your opponent, so you're doing this poetry slam, and your opponents that you have to kind of basically battle against is either Stephen King or the girl that wrote Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling. Stephen King, J.K. Rowling, who's going to be your poetry slam opponent for the night?
Oof.
Oh, J.K. Rowling.
Let's go.
I'm not going against Stephen King. Are you kidding me? Heck no.
He's freaky. He gets you.
Oh man.
He's got some interesting mind. So that'd be. Dane, what'd you have on that?
I was going with the interesting mind. I went with Stephen King because it could have got really dark and you could have went to all kinds of realms on that.
I love it.
That's why I didn't want to go there. I'm too scared.
Well, thank you, Pita. That's a little segment called Rapid. Hopefully something different than what you've had in the past. That was rapid fire. So I appreciate you.
Fun. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Pass that back thing on that one.
Yeah, on this segment, it's called Open Mic. We open up the floor to our guests to kind of talk to that next generation of athletes, artists, anybody really who aspires to do great things like you've done with your life, is there maybe a philosophy or a mantra that you've carried throughout your career from those young days of 7 to now that kind of keep you pushing forward that maybe you can pass on to this next generation?
Yeah.
Yes, actually, there is something I tell myself quite often. Two things. One, uh, keep working hard and good things will happen.
Mm.
Just very plain, simple, but very direct. If you keep working hard, good things will happen. And I truly believe that.
Yeah.
And second, a quote I love. I'm a big Vince Lombardi fan.
Mm.
So he has a quote that's basically it's the body can withstand most anything. It's your mind you have to convince. And so,
Mm.
like, yeah, because it's true. Your body can go way further, but if your mind stops first, you're
Wow.
not gonna continue. But that, yeah,
In your mind. Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
I need to like look up exactly how it was worded, but that's the
Convince
gist
your
of it.
mind. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Convince
like
your mind. Yeah.
the body can withstand most anything. It's your mind you have to convince.
That's crazy. But that, I mean, watching you, I can see that because you've done so many different things and you've rocked so many
Yeah.
different things and you've taken a punch, you've taken a beating and gotten back up and,
Yeah.
still. So it's very clear that if you can train your mind, you can train your hands to do the work. So,
Yeah.
and,
Absolutely.
and Peter, I can't believe like how fast time flies. We're gonna have to do something where we actually probably call it a part two because as
Let's do it
much as
again.
yeah,
Definitely.
as
Yeah.
much as you just scratched the surface, like I'm getting to know the layers of you and like your fighting
Yeah.
style and personality. I think we already have a number two in the books. We're gonna have to work it out. I
All right,
apologize.
let's just plan for part two.
We'll plan for
Absolutely.
that. But Peter, I will say this: as someone who again believes in what you're doing, female leadership, female athletes, we want to close on this. We mean this. Thank you for being a role model for
Yeah.
someone that our girls can follow. We're big on
Yeah.
using your heart and your brain than your fists, not having to rely on degrading tactics. That's how we feel, and you've done that. You've allowed your talent not to be some object, and
Yeah.
we stand behind that so powerfully, and we admire you for that. So thank you for
Yeah.
being
Absolutely.
someone that my
Thank
girls
you.
can look
I
up to.
appreciate that
Yeah.
so
Yes.
much. I
Absolutely.
do.
So Peter, I mean, when I said this will be part one of many, don't be a stranger. Many, much love. I appreciate you, and we'll make
Yeah.
this happen again very
Absolutely.
soon. Okay, Peter,
Sounds
thank you so
great.
much.
Thank you guys so much.
Much
You
love.
guys
Yeah.
are
Thank you.
amazing. Yeah, I know. I'm
Much
like,
love.
found it.
Love it. Yeah. Dane, I'm
All
telling you,
right.
man.
Goodbye. Oh, what?
No, no, no. But
Sorry.
much love. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dane. I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
thanks,
man.
dude.
She's amazing, dude. Like, she's such a drive, such a passion about her. She's everything she says and more, right?
Yeah, I'm inspired just listening. Some of those
Wow.
things that you get some interviews where, like I said earlier, you talk to that guest and you feel like afterwards you can go run through a brick wall, and that's how I feel. You just feel the energy coming through her, and
Gosh.
it's contagious. You love listening to people like that, guiding those youngsters to hear somebody like that, and knowing that you can start at an early age and with passion, you can reach all of your dreams.
She's someone I want my kid to be taught by, man. Just to drive, like do whatever you can.
Yeah,
And never once. It was never like, can I? It's like I'm going to do this. That I
yeah,
kept hearing her say, "This is going to happen. I'm going to do it." And that's how people
yeah,
are. Like people that do great things are just people, right? And
yeah,
as you can see, a normal person who's done extraordinary things because she says, "I'm just not going to quit. I'm not going to give up." Even back to the fight she was talking about. I'm just not going to quit.
yeah,
So there's just no
yeah.
quit in her. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, yeah, and
uh,
that comes from a great upbringing too. I mean, this
Wow.
now she talked about her father. I mean, it's great
Yeah.
to have that
Firefighter.
behind you. Yeah, and her mother. It's just
Wow.
great to have great parents behind you. They've
I'll
done a
tell you what, man,
fantastic job.
that'll be the first of many. We always
Yeah,
say we can tell in the first couple minutes if it's one of our favorite interviews, and we're 300 deep. That's one of my top
yeah,
interviews right there. She was
absolutely.
awesome. I wish we had hours to talk to her. I really do because she was great. So, man, that's
Oh yeah,
you know part two in the books
we'll
already,
set
guys.
up
We're
another one. Absolutely.
already booking it. So, you guys, that was Pita. Thank you again for her and her camp for making this happen. We're very blessed to have this. So, don't forget as always that we love you and Dane.
Thank you for listening.